Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about decks that are going to become much better post Cyberstorm Axis. The set is literally right around the corner. It's about 2 weeks away and a lot of decks are getting better with archetypes that are getting support and specific cards from the set that are giving some other decks more power. So let's talk about these decks. I think I have like 6 of them. So for the first one, we're going to talk about Branded. Branded is becoming much better with this set. Not only is the support giving better combos to the deck, but it's also giving the deck a more wider array of cards that it can actually include in those combos because they function well with the new support as well. Like it literally unlocks access to Branded in High Spirits, to Nadir's Servant, where you actually get more value by using them, like these cards in this particular build. Guiding Quem is literally an incredible card. Being a Dogmatica and a Despia monster, it can be summoned with Branded openings, so you're not stuck with a ton of openings and the lubers in your opening hand anymore, which is really, really nice. And just overall, it's able to send pretty much whatever you need to the graveyard, whether it be a Fallen of Albas or a monster that mentions it, or in that case, usually you're going for Cartesia, so you have direct access to Cartesia as well, and then you can special summon it off of Quem for it to be an additional disruption during the opponent's turn. The Despian Luluva Lilith can be summoned with Granguignol, which is really cool because it's a negate as well as it gives an attack boost, and in the graveyard it also has an effect. Then there's the Branded Etude, which is the trap card, being able to turn a very much fusion summon based deck into a mixture of fusion and synchro, because it's able to synchro summon during either player's turn using at least one dragon monster you control, which are the Bishios, and you can play a bigger package if you want. There's a ton of different things I think that are going to be done with Branded, and a ton of different versions that are going to see play, and I think it's really, really strong support. Of course, we can't forget the Albion the Incandescent Dragon, which is pretty much Branded Expulsion, and it cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, so the Branded Expulsion part almost cannot be negated as easily as it would be by just imperming the monster or something, which is an additional boost to Branded. And speaking about decks getting better with their in-archetype stuff, Pearly is also getting support in the form of 2 new Pearly cards. The archetype is really strong. In my opinion, it's going to do a lot. In my opinion, it is going to be one of the top contenders, especially with the new support, because before the deck did what it did, but we all knew that post the support, it's going to become much better. So basically, the quick play spell cards all have an effect on the field, and then they're able to special summon a level 1 Pearly monster from the deck. And the new support card is another Pearly monster, so an additional target, which is really cool. The Pearly monsters are then able to exceed summon by using the quick play spell cards, and the quick play spell cards also grant additional effects to the XYZ monsters. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 pairs of the quick play spell card and the corresponding Xyz monster. And then they also have a boss monster, which is pretty much a towers. It's very hard to deal with because it's unaffected by opponent's activated effects, while it has 5 or more Xyz materials, which is really easy to achieve. And the other support card, the Pearly Sleepy Memory, also grants additional draw cards, and draw power is of course very, very strong in granting you follow-up or getting to important cards. So the deck, all in all, I think, like I said, is going to be much, much better post Cyberstorm Axis. Another one that's receiving support in archetype is Super Heavy Samurai. So this deck pretty much was almost never a point of discussion. It was like it didn't exist. It just wasn't really strong. But right now, it does seem like it's going to be a formidable combo deck. Being able to end on boards of like Apollousa, Baron, Therian King regulars, you're able to go for Saryuja and Spellcaster lines. Then you have Naturia Extario through Cyberstorm. Like there's a ton of different versions. You have, of course, the FTK stuff, which is a necessary evo in the game. I think we'll see how it gets dealt with. We'll see how much play it actually sees. You have hand loop stuff. Yeah, it does feel quite strong and quite dangerous moving into the next format with this deck at the forefront. There are counters to it though, but still, looking at Super Heavy Samurai just becoming better, it's really cool to see. The new support is insanely cool. Like, you basically get one monster which literally special summons itself from the pendulum zone, also special summons from the deck, places a super heavy samurai in the pendulum zone. You have one that pitches itself to search, and then you pair that together with cards like Soul Piercer, which just aren't once per turn, because of course they're not. And that's really cool. So this deck for sure is something to think about and look for and just be prepared for post Cyberstorm access. The next deck we're going to talk about is Goldbright. Now, the new support is granting the deck more, however, it doesn't seem like it's exactly going to be the top contender. It just becomes a bit better, which is cool. You know, I think it's good enough. If you are looking at a TCG exclusive archetype, I think it's cool that it's going to be probably seeing more play. It can be paired together with Punk, which literally feels like it's an archetype that's meant to function together with Goldbright, since you want to have less life points than your opponent. And you also easily bridge with the 1.5 card combo of Xiamin and a discard for Foxytune. You easily bridge into the Goldbright side of things, which is cool. You know, you're ending on a board of multiple very different and diverse interruptions. You're able to draw 3 cards in your opening combo, and then I think you draw additional cards, and it's like, it's a lot. You know, you have interruption, you have follow-up, which is pretty much what a deck wants to do. You know, it can be, I guess, interrupted, you have hand traps and whatever, but like, you draw into cards and you have, like I said, a 1-card combo, so you have more cards in your hand to pair with and play with. So it does seem interesting moving forward, and I really wanted to mention it. I think there's a lot of potential there. And the last 2 decks are getting boosted by some specific cards from the set, and it's Sword Soul and Dragon Link. When you look at the Apo Dragon card, it is literally so strong, and it helps Sword Soul a lot. It's basically able to special summon itself if there is a non-effect monster on the field, which in Sword Soul, of course, is going to happen quite a lot. Because it's a tuner, you're able to just, you know, synchro climb basically into a synchro, like maybe draw a card with Stardust Charge Warrior, and then it's able to special summon a token if you synchro summon this turn, which can also be treated as a tuner. So you literally get to a synchro 10 or something very easily. And also your Tanies become even better, because from the graveyard it's able to spawn a token, and then you just have your Tanies live, which is also really cool. So I think it's a really cool piece of support for Sword Soul. So it's able to do more synchro plays. Baron is also the 5th summon in some of these like combos, and I think that's really cool. And speaking of Dragon cards, Dragon Link is also getting support with a card that's actually tying into the branded archetype, or the Bestial, and all of that is the Bestial Despotter, which can be played in Dragon Link because you have a ton of plays with banished cards, and the Despotter is able to special summon a banished light or dark monster. You're also able to have a monster negate or a pop. Again, you have banished cards, and it's very easy for you to synchro summon. And also, I mentioned the card branded Etude before, the trap card, because it can also be played in this deck. You are able to synchro summon so easily because it just needs to include 1 additional dragon card, which obviously your entire deck is dragon cards. So you're able to go for something like a Baron by literally summoning a Bestial, using it as an interruption, and then reviving Rocket Chaser with Boral and Dragon or something, and it's just a free synchro. So I think these cards are really cool for a deck like Dragon Link that's been out for literally the longest time, but has evolved so much. And right now it does seem like it's in a decent place with Bestials and some of these support cards. So I really like this. I'm super hyped to see what Dragons are able to do. And with this is basically the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I covered the most important things. If there is anything else that's receiving support that's going to be boosted by this set, please let me know down in the comments below. There's also new things coming out, like the Monodome archetype. So this set is looking very strong. I think it's cool that it's going to shape the meta a bit before nationals, especially if we don't have a ban list. So things get shaken up a bit. And of course, like I said, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below as well. If you like this video, please make sure to like it, sub, check out all the social media, and Sleeve Chief, of course. And don't forget to use my code SHADOW at checkout so you get a discount. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.